I'm absolutely supporting it. And I would like to be specific. Big shout out to Now Cafe on Germantown Avenue. Support them.
That's
Black
right.
owned and operated.
That's right.
Support Uncle Bobby's on Germantown Avenue. Big shout out to North Philly. The inimitable, uncomparable Nourish on 4th and Gerard.
Let's go shout out to Nourish.
You know what I mean? And also we can't forget Chubby Chicks who we convalescing around or coalescing around rallying the troops around her.
Yes.
But I want to talk about that specifically.
Yes.
The Chubby Chicks, that's a small part, as you and I was talking about earlier off the air. That's a small part of the big picture. The big picture is many folks, black owned and operated, have suffered in silence. And so the real story is for us to do these interviews and see how many of us have been chased out, whether they're small landlords who being chased out, who are property owners, or they're restaurateurs, their clothing. Oh yeah, big shout out to 52nd and Lancaster, Gems on 52nd and Lancaster clothing. How many of them are being chased out? And so that's important for me and that's important for us. Now, getting into the politics, we have to be very careful when someone asks us, someone that looks like us, that asks us to do a particular thing, because all skin folk ain't kin folk.
All right, now I got that song up next.
I mean, absolutely. because and here's my thing with that. They're asking, they some folks is twisted about this DEI, right? And they make it sound real good. What is it? Diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? But what they don't tell you, and this is most important, the most people that benefit from that are white women.
Yep.
White women. Most people benefit from
the
LGBTQ.
Absolutely, and we can't leave out. In many instances, historically and sometimes contemporarily, they have collaborated with our oppressors, and they have been the Bonnie to the Clyde. And a lot of times when you see them beefing like the European woman gangbanging with the European man, it's really about she's mad at him because we stuck these black and brown people up together, and you burnt me for my cut of the stolen loot. So a lot of times that's what we see, but it has another language to it.
And you know what? It's interesting you say that, because I was watching something yesterday, and they were documenting how much revenue slavery made in America, and how these slaves and their families and their babies were passed on, their birth certificates, their social security. Well, I don't know if they had social at that time, but they were passed on their papers to other families.
That's right.
So we're not realizing
Inheritance.
that the inheritance of America is still not only based on our work and service labor, but it's actually based on the physical bodies.
The blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, but the actual physical,
The maroon blood that's been shed.
The physical body of the person, though.
Yep.
That's right.
You know, not just what the person did, but the actual bodies. They're actually putting those certificates in people's, what do you call that? When you hand it down to the next generation. In the will.
The will.
Yep.
In the last will and testament. So what you're saying, I don't want to cut you off, but it really had me on that our people and we are so much more valuable to movements. And we have to be careful of the movements that take us on and we take on. Because somebody called me this morning and they said, this is somebody who owed me money. Are you going to observe the blackout? Well, first of all, I had to say to that person, don't black me out, because you still
support
owe
me.
money.
Show me. Let me be the first line of support. Don't play with me.
That's a strong argument. You still owe me money. Don't black me out.
Don't black out on me.
I don't want to be the one you start
listen,
with.
absolutely.
Let's start with the ones that really need it, okay?
I was also going to put a little input on that. Also knowing that this is a blackout supporting your people, you should be supporting your people every single day. Big shout outs to all the black farmers out in the city. We're up against a lot when it comes to DEI and how this intertwines in our food, and big shout out to the black and brown operated businesses and
gardens.
Yes.
Taking care of that food desert issue.
Yes,
much love to the Peace Park out there in North Philly.
Shout out to them.
Not food desert, but food apartheid.
Food apartheid.
It's premeditated. It is
Trust me. Yes.
So when we talk about having these people pulling away our dollar and investing it back into our community. I don't know if you all know, but how important that is. The black dollar stays in our community less than